Hey guys, welcome back to the Confirm an RM YouTube channel, getting ourselves back into Bitcoin, Xrp, and the rest of the market. Sorry about the time that I was gone, guys. I think you guys saw my post. A little bit craziness going on, a lot of health stuff going on, and it seems that things are figured out now. I seem to be okay, and now we're getting back into doing TA with you guys. But if you had tuned into our last video and you kind of saw the trend that we were going in and the trend that we were attenuated with and one that we kind of saw happening, we were looking at Bitcoin doing something in literally right here, you see mid-February. Regardless, it happened about a week and a half earlier. That's awesome. But we were you can't say that you didn't know, because you knew. Watching the channel and being a part of it and looking at what we've been looking at, you knew this was coming. So regardless, we're here. And you can see right here on the bottom side, we were talking about getting to swing back upwards. We were seeing the volume kind of dwindle itself downwards. And it seemed to get itself up, basically the best way to put it is that volumetric profile that we've had, it definitely exceeded. That's why we had circled these, the major corrections that we've seen in Bitcoin. And then, from here at 44,000, getting back down to 38, and then seeing our, actually technically up here to 49, almost 50, and then the correction back down. Obviously that push upwards and then the retrace. You see up here to the top of the region, come back down, which obviously works here at the 2618 and all the way down here to 0. But this is what we got. On this short term right here, from the top to bottom, we're looking at right now a full extension hitting 4236 at $52,083. Obviously, it reached out there to 52. We'll see like 52.9, just about. I think that's right about where we hit. And getting knocked back, but we're staying on top of this 618 here, 51,734. But what we're going to want to do is get rid of this one, because now we see that we've hit this one. But what we could do temporarily is more in a time period as such, adjust ourselves and be looking at something more of a, let's see, if we were to take this from this high, well, beforehand to this low right here, you would see us coming out here to the 2618 region. And it looks like the knockback, even on the other chart, our knockback would be seeing us around 48,000. Which makes sense. So if we wind up retracing from here, knocking back, which is, like I said, the full 4236 extension that we had seen before, you'd wind up seeing it come back down here to the 1618. But if we come back like this and look at the previous chart, that shows the same exact point around that 46.9. As you can see, you have three different kind of time periods. So you have this longer term here, this 0.5 at 47.4. You have the short term one that shows this around that 46.9, and then you have this one right here that if you do from here to here as well, shows that same 47.5. Like, everything is within about $500-600 of each other, right around there. So we'll go with that. Obviously, we could do the top to the bottom. It's like this. You can do it from here. I would say more candle bodies right there. But even this, from top to bottom, 47,000, 46.9, 47.5, in between there, within about $400 or $500, you have the retracement that could ensue if we lose it. And right now, we see our RSI is up there pretty high. It, hasn't came really back down here in a daily to retest itself, from the bottom that Bitcoin has ensued since the 23rd of January. Kind of went sideways for, what was this, about 9 days, but still it was an upwards trend. You're looking at around, 36% up, and then no retrace. So no retrace on Bitcoin so far out of this huge run. Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at that first. I'm looking at it's around a 9 to 10% drop, but technically, according to this run right now, could it go further? Could it go higher? Could we get up here to that 50 to 60,000? I think if you wanted to healthily, if you wanted it to get there with a healthy and, proper sort of conscience, I would say a little knockback would be it would make most sense to me to get that knockback, but it's also at a very critical point, on a long term of things. This is, the 702 region of Bitcoin. This is a make or break region. This is a very important region for us to get through. So it really depends on how we come back and retest this and retest $47,000 if we wind up really just cascading. Realistically, it could do something like that and just continue to waddle around in here until we get to July. But that's on the table. But we break through here and we get through the 702 around that 54,000. You're looking at like that. You're getting back up to the $60,000 region. But right now, if we were to zoom out here on a daily and really look at our volumetric profile, this is the highest profile we've seen in March of 2022. So RSI is actually the highest it's been, even actually since October 2021, which is when we actually hit the all-time high, right? This is when we hit it. Yeah. So the volume on the MACD right now is actually as high as it was when we hit our all-time high. So I'm keeping my head on a swivel here. We're going to try to assess and judge which way it's going to be going. So I think if we're going to really be looking for that short-term thing, we're going to want to look here on the 4-hour or even 1 hour. But it's really having a hard time here getting through 52,500, just about at the 1618. And obviously right here, it falling through the support here at 51.6. You got around there that 47.8, the 47,100. That's going to wind up being that support. But do you mind? Not necessarily, because Bitcoin should do a retracement before it continues. This was its contingency. This was its hard point. It couldn't really get through here. So I think you break through, come back down for a retest, and then ascend on upwards. Like that's what should happen. And that would be the healthiest way for it to go about. I mean, I think we all can agree with that. But anyways, Bitcoin doing great. Just awesome things. Obviously, we're going to have people coming out of the woodworks, moon boys saying blah, blah, blah. But just keep your head on a swivel. You can see that the volumetric profile comes here to 23rd, December 23, October 23. They're all like very similar with height right now. So just a lot of signals are screaming to me right now. Be cautious. Bitcoin's up 36% in the past month and a half, month. We're getting to a critical region where retraces should happen and happen a particular way for Bitcoin to continue onwards, and to get that proper continuation onwards, we would need to adhere to what we kind of talked about. So let's get over here. We'll see XRP. Unfortunately, and we got that fall. Look at that, right to the T almost, literally to 48. But look at that. We were talking about holding that 48, and as I told you guys, and we went into the past of XRP, look at how XRP could hold itself out of the trend for a little while here on the daily. I think we were talking about that. Especially back here, how we were under it for a little while, and look at that, under it for a little while. I think it's actually, I wonder if it was actually 21 days or 31 days, but let's see how long it stayed there. Wow, almost a month. So adhering to the pattern, we talked about this. Literally the same thing. Ain't that crazy? So we're getting back up to that 57 region. You can see getting it knocked back, getting that nice V bottom. So what I anticipate for XRP then would be to get ourselves a nice waddle over here. I would assume that you're going to waddle onwards and then wind up getting that explosion. But let's see. Because it just, what it wound up retracing to was that 382 on 57 cents, which is 57 cents. We talked about that so much that was a good support, which now is a hefty resistance again. So let's see how that responds. But what we're going to want to do, because since it stayed down here for so long, we're going to adjust this, use that. And what we can see here, we'll go to the multiple bottom, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Use the top here, which we'll actually use the top right beforehand. We'll use this one. And all right, so top to bottom, zoom in. Yep, hitting that 57 cents into. So what we're going to wind up doing, holding above 55 cents. If we're able to progress onwards, we're going to be seeing ourselves get up to that 58, 60 cent region. Get above 60 cents, you're looking at 64 and onwards. But if we're going to really try guesstimating with XRP, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily even say on a daily, but let's see what we're going to wind up doing. Just delete a lot of these extra lines because we don't need them, guys, as you know. Delete. Okay, so we definitely have a ceiling here. So I would say something like that. And then I would say on the bottom side, something like this. Let's see, does that work? maybe something like this. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So it'd be coming to a precipice end of February. Nothing crazy. You're going to take the last time we smacked, which is right here. Grab that. End of February, getting ourselves up to 50, I would say 64 cents, end of the month. Does that make sense to you guys? It makes sense to me. We're actually, we bottomed out, and now we're up here in oversold territory. Looks like we might come back down for a little bit of retracement before we finally send it off into oblivion. But as you guys can see, we haven't really gone up here on that the RSI since November. So we've been in constant retracement ever since. You can see that MACD finally, after being oversold like that for so long, that volumetric profile started to actually turn itself around February 7th, February 8th, and now getting ourselves pushing up there. So XRP definitely going to be something interesting. We got to keep our head on the swivel, but everything doesn't. We held critical supports. I'm not at all, thinking anything crazy with XRP. Breaking through, I would say around that 57 region, you're going to get an immediate, I think, explosion up there to 60 to 64 cents around that region, because 57 is a heavy resistance. But once it's broken through, it is a nice movement, as you guys can see. Is once it breaks through, it does a large move up to 61 to 64. Even the last time it broke through too. You see right here, right here, we weren't able to get through it, and as soon as we flew up to 72. But I'm gonna kind of keep myself conservative. I'm gonna say if we break through 57 right here, we'll get that strong volume to the upside, hitting here to around the top of this region. Might get ourselves up a little bit higher, but you can see we have the upper boundary right here that shows it around that 62, 63. Actually, I think right now it's 62. So head on a swivel, just how it is. Everyone's getting, crazy. All the hopium's starting to fly around. It's just all the FOMO, laser eyes, diamond hands. As you guys know, we've always been this way on the channel with XRP. But, it's because of conviction. You guys have conviction for what you trade and what you believe in. We've been here with Bitcoin and XRP, but we know Bitcoin is the one that drives the market. XRP follows. So, ta-da, there it is. But hope you guys are having a good one. Thanks for sticking around for the 12-minute video, kind of giving you my ideas, what's going on. So in the short term, like I said, XRP, hold above 55 cents. We had a nice run up the past 2-3 days with XRP, but just kind of keeping itself meandering above 55. And then later towards the half the end of the month, I say 64 is on the table if we can keep the momentum going. Anything crazy happens after that, the actual full trend here, it comes up here to around that 50, 68. So I don't want to be giving crazy stuff, but I think fair enough to say 61 to 64 in the near future if it does adhere by the current trend. But all right, guys, have a wonderful one. Appreciate you. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.